Jane from Warrington, and if it's a Jane I'm thinking of, she's an old friend, and I hope you're well. Having trouble motivating my team, conditioning wise, I assume. Any tips?
So this is always, I suppose, an issue in rugby league that people like to play, but they don't like to do the conditioning and the work around it. Some things that I've found is that having a bit of personality with the boys generally helps.
Or girls.
Or girls, sorry. In this case, boys or girls, sorry. Being able to connect with them, makes them think that, hey, maybe I want to work harder for that coach. There's also stuff to do around accountability, making players in charge of the session or part of the session so that they're driving the focus, because I find that a lot of the time you have strength and conditioning coaches in particular who think that they need to stand there and shout and point all the time for the session to be done, which, I think there's a time and a place, and I've done plenty of it in my time, because sometimes you need that, but I found that it's, a bit more effective if you can have people from inside the group trying to drive.
One thing I've always done to try and motivate lazy trainers is try and condense the training. So instead of it looking like an hour on the clock, might say, right, we're going to do a tough 40 minutes or a tough 30 minutes. And once they get into it, you sort of nudge the 30 minutes into 40 minutes.
Yeah, and exactly. It is a mental thing, and extending on that, Lee, something that I find gym-wise with that as well is having people have the mindset of just one more rep, because it's funny a lot of the time you do one more and then you're like, oh, that wasn't actually that bad. I could do another one, and so I find that helps.
Same questioner. Jane wants to know, how do I deal with a lazy trainer in particular? So I assume she's talking about females. And we forget that. I must say that to all people on rugbyleaguecoach.com.au, that because I've been involved in the boys' game primarily for the last 20 years, I often refer to boys and men and the lads, etc. And John will do the same. And we're not being disrespectful in absolutely any way, shape or form. Rugbyleaguecoach.com.au, and therefore everyone who you see in front of the screen really supports the women's game. So if we ever slip the tongue like that, please bear with us and take us in the right context. So let's assume in this case that Jane's talking about ladies playing rugby league.
Okay, so lazy trainers is something that's hard to overcome, because I find with my experience that it's a personality thing. People, if they've got the personality to work hard, they generally come there. They don't need a lot of motivation. Initially, you're gonna have to try. It'll be something that you'll just have to stay on top of, and it's about creating that accountability of. You're here, you're in this team, you need to be contributing. If you're not contributing, there's some form of punishment. So in my system that I'm working at the moment, if there's people who aren't working hard, I may start off with an individual penalty or something like 50 up downs outside. If they come back in the same attitudes there, then I start to look to bring the team into it, so that the team itself finds a solution to the problem, and they usually bring that athlete into line. But long term, it needs to be something that comes from inside them. So it could even be you playing up on their competitive side. People play sport a lot of the time for that competitive nature. Maybe you have to set them targets of, I don't think you can lift that, or I want you by the end of this, this block, you need to be lifting this much. Or another thing is that with some of the more talented players that I've found on the field, they come into the gym and being lazy, is that I might liken them to someone who they think on the field they're far better than. And I'm like, well, you look at them in the gym or in the conditioning, they're beating you. What are you doing? And usually that plays up on them.
Okay, next question. This one's from Larry in Parramatta. Will weight slow me down?
Will weight slow you down?
They will, I suppose, if you leave them on your shoulders.
Look,
or put them in your backpack.
I was going to say if you're towing a sled, probably. But will weight slow you down? I'm going to say, sit on the fence here a little bit, Lee, and say depends. Okay, so the reason why I say that is that if we spend too much time putting on weight, which is the common thing in rugby league, everyone needs to be heavier.
I want to get bigger.
I want to get bigger, and it's just... Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's just a crazy mentality. If you put on too much weight too quickly, then yes, it will slow you down because your body is just not able to produce enough force to move you along, which is essentially where we get our power and speed from. But on the other side, usually when we get some hypertrophy, some muscle growth, we'll get an increase in strength. What an increase in strength means is we also do get some increase in ability to produce force. So yeah, that for me, like I said, that depends.
Okay. I would suggest, Larry, if you're watching this, I hope you are, considering you sent the email in, send me another email. I'll get you in touch with John and we can talk about it in a bit more depth, because that one's a really broad answer, I think.